Yo my people, welcome back to another video. So as you can see from the title of this video, I am back playing college soccer for Grace after graduating last year. So let me explain. First of all, so if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that I have been playing for Grace and that we've actually had a really strong start to the season. But if you haven't been following me on Instagram and you're not following me on Instagram, then you wouldn't have known much about what I'm doing this season. Make sure you give me a follow because Instagram hears and sees most things first. So if you want to stay up to date and hear information quicker, give me a follow. We're also trying to post some reels, posted 3 reels, and they've actually had some good responses, so we'll be looking forward for more content like that as well on my Instagram page. So give me a follow. Link's gonna be somewhere around here and also in the description. So I'm just gonna give a little bit of a backstory on what happened last year. At the end of last season, when we lost in the NCCA National Tournament semi-final against Campbellsville. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. I'll leave a link up here, click the eye. That Campbellsville game was meant to be my last game because I thought I used up all the eligibility I had and I was done with school. I finished with my classes and I was getting ready to graduate in the spring. Fast forward a few months, I graduated, I got my degree, and I'm now looking for work because I was on my OPT, and OPT is when you are allowed a year's worth of work in the US that relates to your degree. I wanted to coach somewhere on top of my job at the YMCA because I just needed a bit more extra cash basically because I have a wife, I have bills to pay, and yeah, I wasn't making enough money. So I wanted a second job on top of that. Originally, I wanted to go at the high school level, but none of those jobs were kind of available at the time. I also wanted to stay around my area, so around the area that I'm living in right now, but there wasn't really that many options. So one of my options was to look at the college level, obviously, as well. So I went to Goshen College. I asked them if they had any positions available. Nothing really came of that. There was talks and I potentially could have got a coaching job there, but eventually nothing came of it. But then I also spoke to Grace, so I spoke to my old head coach and I spoke to him if he had any positions open. And at the time of the early summer, all the coaching positions were filled basically, and he didn't have enough budget basically to hire another coach. Yeah, April, June times, my coach at Grace actually spoke to me about being a graduate assistant. Now, being a graduate assistant is when you are coaching but also studying to get a degree at the same time. Obviously, that degree would be a master's degree, and then on top of that, you will also be working and coaching at the same time, basically. But you get a small pay stub, tuition covered, and yeah, you get to coach. Now, at first, hearing about the position, I was like, I didn't want to do it. I was tired of studying. I was tired of doing tests, writing papers, doing research. All of that stuff I was pretty much done with. I didn't want to do any more school. I just wanted the coaching part. So I basically told him the position wasn't for me. I told him about the schooling and how I was pretty much done with it. And he understood, and yeah, I just had to say I didn't want it pretty much. Moving forward a few more months now, my coach actually got back in contact with me to actually tell me that the GA position is available because the person that they had in last year actually had to leave the program. He explained the position a little bit more to me and a little bit more thoroughly, and the more he explained it and the more I thought about it, the more I kind of was enticed by the position. After that, I spoke with my wife and gave it a little bit more thought over the next couple of weeks. I thought to myself, number one, you're getting a free master's degree. Number two, you would still be getting paid to coach. Number three, I would be in a great place to learn. The environment is good. I know all the boys that are still there, or some of the boys that were still there. And number four, it was a good team, a great team, and the coaches I'd be working alongside, like, I had no problem with them, obviously, because I had played for them for years, and I know them and I know their ability, so they'll be great coaches to learn from as well. So weighing up those options, it's like kind of a no-brainer. So it's like I did end up accepting the offer, and yeah, I was going to be their GA for the upcoming season. Okay, now we're getting into the interesting part. Moving forward towards more of the preseason. We had a great preseason, but the only thing that was hurting us pretty much was half of our guys were actually ineligible to play by the NAIA. We were pretty much just waiting for guys to get cleared so they'd be able to play. There was nothing wrong, but it was just taking a really long time. So a few weeks into preseason, I was really getting to grips with my role. So my job was to take care of the center midfielders, naturally. Now going forward another week, my coach told me that he was actually seeing if I was still eligible to play. Now, let me explain here. When you come over to America and you play college, you get 4 years of eligibility, and you have to use it in a certain amount of semesters. Now, when I graduated, I didn't use all 4 years of my eligibility. I knew this, but I thought I went over the amount of semesters I was able to use them in. Now, keep up with me. This will get a little bit foggy, potentially. So, during my first year of college, I played my first year when I was at Goshen. I also played my sophomore year at Goshen, so I played my first 2 years. And then the third year, I sat out because I got an injury, so I was able to redshirt that year. That fourth year is when I transferred to Grace College. Now, because I transferred to a college in the same conference as me, there's a rule that the NAIA have that you can't transfer within the same conference and play that next year. So I had to sit out that year as well. So I played 2 years and then had to sit out 2 years. And then following that year, this is when we won our national championship, the Christian National Championship. If you haven't seen that video, there's a link up here. Make sure you click that or that side. So that year was the year 2020, and obviously COVID happened that year. I played that year. So then I played 3 years in total. After that first season with Grace, I went into my second year, which was the year that I just finished with. Now, there was a rule that the NAIA came out with saying that that year, I'm pretty sure it was that year or maybe the 2020 year, actually didn't count at all. Basically, no student lost a year of eligibility for that year because of COVID. With that being said, I still had an extra year, even though I was about to use 4 years, but then COVID gave us an extra year. So I played my first year, played my sophomore year, sat out these 2 years, played in the year 2020, so I played 3 years, and then I played last year, but then it didn't count, so I still have that 1 year. And this is what brings us back to today. I called the NAIA and kind of explained my problem, well, not problem, I explained my situation to them, and the NAIA said basically all you have to do is make sure you're registered for classes in that graduate program, and yeah, you're pretty much good to go. This is how we got to today and how I am playing this year. So yeah, in a total of, this is now my 7th year in college football, and somehow I'm still only using 4 years of eligibility. Yes, my people, Editing TJ is here. And what I was going to do is I was going to add on to this video and put a non-conference season review of how our season has gone so far. I didn't realize that the video would be so long, so I'm going to make that a completely separate video. So I'm going to catch you up on this season and what has been happening throughout the season. We've done some really good things, and I can't wait to show you guys and share what we've done this year. But if you are still here, thank you very much for watching this video. I'm going to end it here. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for new videos when they come out, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.